Take you to the shooting. While you're stopped at the lights on Flamingo and Koval, does something happen?
Yes.
Do you notice a vehicle pull up next to Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight's vehicle?
Well, yeah.
Can you tell us what you see?
We were at a light. Mr. Shakur and Suge Knight was talking to some young ladies. We couldn't hear what they was talking about. When those young ladies pulled off, another car pulled up and started shooting at Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight.
And do you recall what kind of car that was?
It was a light-colored white Cadillac.
And do you recall, was it a two-door or four-door?
It was a four-door.
And when you saw the shooting, did somebody get out of the car and start shooting, or were they shooting from inside the vehicle?
The shots came from inside the vehicle.
And was it from the front or back seat?
It was from the back seat.
Okay. And did you see the arm or the gun or anything like that?
The arm and the gun attached to that arm.
And were you able to make an assessment of whether the person whose arm was out was white, Asian, Hispanic, or African American?
From my vantage point, they appeared to be African American.
What's your reaction when you see the shots?
I'm horrified.
And I'm sorry, I don't think I asked this question. Who was in the Lexus with you at that point?
Security, Frank Alexander, Yafael Fula, and Katari Cox.
So, two of the fellow members of the Outlaws, and then a security guard named Frank Alexander.
Right.
What do you guys do in the immediate aftermath of the shooting?
We started to get out of the car to go check on Tupac. And, yeah, that's what we did.
Do all of you make it to Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight's car?
No.
Does anybody make it to Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight's car? What happens?
Suge pulled off, made a U-turn.
Or do you guys follow them, or do you drive off someplace else?
No, we followed them.
And that's by do you guys have to make a U-turn to follow them? Does Mr. Knight's car stop ultimately at an intersection?
It does.
What happened? Are you following him to that intersection?
We were.
What happens when you stop at that intersection?
We get out of the car to go check on Tupac.
And are you able to make it to Tupac's vehicle?
No.
Why not?
When we approached the car, Mr. Shakur said to me, get on the ground, they're going to shoot you. And when I turned around, there was a shotgun in my face.
And who was holding the shotgun?
Police officer.
So what do you do?
I got on the ground.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, when you were in Mr. Davis's home, you had identified, or there were various different electronic devices that were seized.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with regard to those electronic devices, there were quite a few.
Yes.
Those electronic devices, and I just want to make sure I'm clear here, you had taken a Dell Inspiron 1764 laptop computer.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever at any point cause that computer to be reviewed for information that would help you lead to whether or not Mr. Davis wrote that book or helped write that book?
I did not.
Okay. And just for the jury's edification, let's make sure we're clear. When you're reviewing an electronic device like that, you are looking for files, search history, things that would help you see whether or not Mr. Davis used that particular machine to help write the book, for instance, in this case.
In theory, yes, somebody would do that.
Right. And you also took from the residence a Toshiba laptop computer.
Yes.
Did you find any information that would help you know or learn whether or not Mr. Davis actually wrote Compton Street Legend or anything like that?
I did not write a search warrant to get into the digital items. So I've never reviewed anything from the electronics.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm clear. That would have been Clifford Mog's job, not your job.
Yes,
Because at the time, he was the detective responsible for this investigation.
correct.
Now, but I just want to make sure we're clear for the jury. The other items that were seized at that point that you were at least part of the seizure would have been a Toshiba satellite laptop computer. That's 3 computers. Another laptop computer, 8 HP G171 laptop computer, an HP touchscreen desktop computer, an iPad, another iPad, and a Sky device tablet. Those were the things that, right?
That sounds accurate, yes.
And just stop me if you think I'm wrong, if you need to look at something, all right?
Okay.
In addition to that, it looks like there was some drives that were taken as well, a Toshiba external drive, a USB drive, and an iPad with a broken screen, and an iPhone in a black case.
Yes.
Okay. And those were all the fruits of your search of Mr. Davis's residence when you went there.
Yes, sir.
And once again, whatever was found inside of those objects would be something that would be Detective Mog's responsibility to tell this jury, not you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to direct your attention to case number 960907-2063, where you asked to do some work on that case.
Yes, I was.
And is it fair to say that, and the jury's already heard this and they've been received in evidence, that 7 cartridge cases with a head stamp of 140 SNW were recovered from that scene?
That's correct.
And then initially, when this case first occurred in 1996, they were run through the database that existed in 1996. Is that fair to say?
Not in 1996, it was in 2003, because NIBIN was not created. It was a program called DrugFire, and NIBIN actually was implemented in 1997, but of course it takes time to build up the database, so it really wasn't the database wasn't built up until about the early 2000s. So that's when they actually initially entered this cartridge case into the NIBIN system.
So in 1996, it was DrugFire, and then in 2003, it was re-entered into NIBIN. Is that fair to say?
I don't have any knowledge if this was entered into DrugFire.
So we'll focus on 2003, the NIBIN entry. Did the cartridges used in this particular cartridge cases collected in this case match any other cartridge cases that were entered into NIBIN back in 2003?
They did not.
Did they match any other firearm that was recovered by 2003?
They did not.
Now, in 2023, were you asked to re-enter these cartridge cases or re-examine them within the NIBIN system?
Yes, I was.
And that request, I think, was made by Mark DiGiacomo.
Yes, it was.
And had technology changed between 2003 and 2023?
Yes, so that 20-year period, yes, the cameras and the resolution has definitely improved over that 20-year time frame.
And is it also fair to say that probably in the intervening 20 years, more cartridge cases and more firearms have been entered into the NIBIN system?
Yes, it's the gold standard of that type of ballistics. So everybody uses it now, and yes, there's millions of images in the database.
And did you actually conduct did you actually look into NIBIN to see whether or not this cartridge case matched any other cartridge case that was entered into NIBIN?
Yes, I entered it into NIBIN myself, and we did a nationwide search, and it looked throughout the entire country, and then the NIBIN results had no associations other to the original entry from 2003.
So what you learned from NIBIN is when you entered the cartridge in 2003, it matched the cartridge you entered in 2023.
That's correct.
But nationwide, it did not match any other cartridge case that had been previously entered into NIBIN.
No.
Okay, you can all be seated.
And there was this outstanding issue during our gang motion about the term shot caller. Now, in the interim, we found that Mr. Davis refers to himself as the shot caller in the book. I don't know that was pointed out. I had not realized that at the time of that motion, so I certainly failed to point that out. But at this point, the state's going to be asking that we allow Mr. Ladd to use that term. When I pre-trialed him last night, I told him he is not allowed to use it unless the court gives a go-ahead, so he's aware of that prohibition. But I think
was the idea that he was going to be the one to lay the foundation, that he was the shot caller, that
yes.
allegedly KPD
yes.
was the shot caller.
Yes.
So we can use that term and attempt to lay the foundation, and then I guess we can just, at some point, you can approach and say, has that been conclusively established or something?
Okay, so I just want to know the mechanism. So I'm not going to have him say it at all, and then I will try and lay the general gang foundation, and then I'll lay the foundation for Mr. Davis's role within the gang, and at that point I'll probably just ask to approach out of an abundance of caution, and then see if the foundation's involved.
Does that work for you, Mr. Taft?
It does, Your Honor. I did have one further housekeeping matter for government shot caller.
Now, in that hierarchy, so we have baby gangsters, just what was the middle one called? Just gangsters?
Just
Gangsters, and then like OGs. Did you happen to know in the mid-'90s where Duane Davis stood in that hierarchy?
Yes, he was a shot caller.
Your Honor, when we approach?
You may.
All right, so you're saying that Mr. Davis was a shot caller within the Southside Compton Crips.
Absolutely, yes.
And what does that mean?
Well, he could tell the younger gangsters what to do, and if they don't listen, like I just said, there's going to be severe consequences. The younger gang members are supposed to do what they're told without hesitation.
Now, were you aware of whether or not Mr. Davis was a narcotics trafficker?
Yes, he was definitely a high-level narcotics dealer. Compton, we were a small city, and we didn't have the manpower or the resources to go after a major narcotics dealer like Mr. Davis. But during my time in the gang unit, we were approached by two different agencies, the FBI task force, really, the DEA and FBI task force, and they would come to us because they wanted information on Mr. Davis's fellow gang members who he hung around with. And basically they would tell us that he's trafficking narcotics across the United States all the way to the East Coast.
Now, I want to talk a little bit more about Mr. Davis. Would you see him sometimes in Compton?
Yes, many, many times I've seen Mr. Davis.
And do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, I.
Can you please point him out and identify an article of clothing he's wearing?
Yeah, he's a male black sitting at the end of the table wearing it's either gray or black suit.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the identification of the defendant in this case?
It will.
Should not.
Now, as a result of this, in October, do you and your partner Tim Brennan put together a multi-house search warrant?
That is correct.
And what was the purpose of this search warrant?
Well, we had two purposes, really. One, there was a war in the city of Compton, and innocent people were getting shot as well as gang members, and so we wanted to put a stop to that. So by hitting houses on both sides, both the Pyrus and the Crips, and we wanted to quell the violence and try to stop it. The other reason was we wanted to try to help Las Vegas PD with their investigation of the shooting of Tupac and Shakur.
And when you said you wanted to help the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in their investigation of who shot Tupac and Shakur, Can you elaborate more on how you believed this search warrant might help Metro in its investigation?
Yes, the way we handle gang-related homicides is when we did these search warrants, we'd find a reason, hopefully, to arrest them. We'd find guns or narcotics in their house, and then we'd bring them down to the station. So you would have all the players that were involved, like that we heard about that was involved in the shooting of Tupac Shakur. So we rounded them all up, and hopefully Las Vegas PD would come down and try to interview them, try to get one of them to cop out, or to try to put them in Las Vegas, whatever they want to do on their investigation of the murder. We rounded up all the people for them, so that's how we helped them.
So the search warrant served two purposes. You have an active war going on, and you're trying to slow the violence in Compton, but you're also thinking, well, maybe we can get some of the folks who we think might be involved in the Tupac shooting to start talking as well.
Correct.
Did Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department send detectives out here for that purpose? Or out there for that purpose?
Yes, they sent 2 detectives.
Now, with regards to the search warrant itself, were a number of firearms recovered as well?
Yes.
And was part of the goal that maybe not only just take the guns off the street for the Compton war, but was there a hope that maybe the firearm for the Tupac Shakur murder might be recovered as well?
That's correct also.
It's fair to say that that did not happen.
That's correct.
And help remind you of certain events, certain cases, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, because in the book, for instance, there's a lot of different people you run into. There's a lot of different scenarios you run into as well, right?
Yes. Most of it was based off our memories, but
Yeah.
like for the search warrant or whatever, we could go back to a search warrant and look at that to refresh our memories.
Right.
Most of the stories are just from my memory.
Yeah, and fair to say, of course, it's also Tim's memory as well. So something that you would remember, he would remember, and vice versa, and you go, oh yeah, I remember this now, and you would say, oh yeah, I remember that now, right?
Yes.
So part of the book, in essence, really is it's a team book between you and Tim and Lolita writing the book for you.
It's a collaboration. Yeah.
Collaboration. Okay. Now, did you write any of the book yourself?
Basically, we got Lolita Files to write the book, and we told the story to her.
Right, and so
she actually wrote it, but it's our story.
right, and Lolita, meaning that this was an experienced writer that you recall, right, before she wrote the book.
Absolutely.
And when she wrote the book, can you tell us a little bit about Lolita, who she was as a writer?
Yeah, she had several books that were published prior to that, and she was very up on the hip-hop scene. So when we got together, and we kind of just clicked, and we collaborated to write the book.
And in terms of her background...
that was the first incident that sparked this whole back and forth thing. Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. Did it really happen?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in your book, you identify it as happening at the Lakewood Mall,
Yes.
and it happened in a Foot Locker.
Yes.
Now, do you have any indication at all of a police report or a call for 911 to the area on a fight that occurs at the Lakewood Mall that day? No.
No.
Do you have indication at all from the security people at the mall where they would have written up a report that said, hey, we had an altercation here at the Lakewood Mall?
I don't think a report was generated by the security officers, no.
Okay. Now, fair to say, of course, there's been some description of that brawl being the kind of brawl that actually required Foot Locker to redo their entire inside because it just destroyed the inside. You recall anything like that?
I never heard anything like that. I just know there was a fight at the Foot Locker.
Right. You heard there was a fight, but you never made any effort, for instance, and it's not your job because it's Lakewood, right?
Correct.
But in essence, no verification that even Foot Locker was contacted to say, hey, did a fight break out over here on this particular day? Nothing like that.
Don't recall.
Okay. So in essence, what we have right now is what you had heard from people on the street as to what happened at this Lakewood Mall incident, right?
Yes.
Now, some people, I would assume, thought that the shooting of Tupac was in retaliation, or maybe the fight of Tupac and Orlando was in retaliation to what happened at Lakewood Mall. But as you're sitting here right now, you don't have any actual proof of the Lakewood Mall incident actually occurred.
No.
Okay.
Just. Yeah, that's how basically that's how most of our gang crimes get solved, is by self-admission or incrimination.
Okay, and then Mr. Sanft asked you about you don't know that whether or not Mr. Davis ordered the hit. And to be fair, you weren't in the Cadillac, were you?
No.
Okay. But let's go through Mr. Sanft's logic. You had said that Mr. Davis was a shot caller within the Southside Crips. Is that fair?
Yes.
And then let me pose this to you. If using Mr. Davis's admissions, if Mr. Brown, Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson, and Mr. Davis are in a car, who is the leader in that car?
Mr. Davis.
Who is the shot caller in that car?
Mr. Davis.
And so if a shot is coming, if those four people are in a car, and shots are coming out of that, who has to give the authorization?
Mr. Davis.
Okay. So if Mr. Davis is in the Cadillac, he's the one calling that shot.
Absolutely. If he tells them not to do it, say, let's handle this back in Compton, they wouldn't have had a shooting. If he sanctioned it, then there'd be a shooting.
And Mr. Orlando Anderson, he was what you had called a gangster, right?
Absolutely.
So he would be the person that would have to listen to Mr. Davis.
Yes.
And so was it in your experience, knowing the roles of everybody in that vehicle, could Mr. Anderson shoot that gun with Mr. Davis in the car without Mr. Davis's permission?
No. Difference there.
Is it fair to assume there wouldn't need to be orders from Mr. Davis for members of the Crips to carry out retaliatory shootings, considering there was an active war between Mob Piru and the South Side following the shooting of Tupac? In other words, is the order implied even if the shot caller does not explicitly say shoot?
Yes, if the shot caller is not there, then gang members are going to do what they do. If they're going to go out hunting, they're going to go out and shoot, even though it might not be sanctioned by a shot caller. But if he's present, they're most likely they're going to do what Mr. Davis tells them to do. But if he's not present, then they're going to do what they do.
Did Orlando get permission to have that shootout at the car wash, seeing that he was a gangster and not an OG?
No, it's like I said, Mr. Davis wasn't there. These guys are gangsters, and when they confront somebody, I mean, it's on. It's going to be on. He doesn't need to be sanctioned by Mr. Davis. Now, if he does something wrong, and when he gets back, if he brings heat on the neighborhood or whatever for doing something stupid, then he'll be disciplined for it. But when they're out in the street gangbanging, it's a whole different story because Mr. Davis is not present.